Welcome to US traffic laws. In this video we are going to be sharing with you what to do if a police officer pulled you over while driving. How to handle this situation. What is your rights for this situation? What can the officer do legally? When the officer asks questions, what to say or not to say. We will add timestamps for each step in this video so that you can find your desired one easily. If you are interested in those topics, please stick around till the end of this video. We regularly post videos to make sure that you're up to date with US traffic law updates, tips and tricks, traffic rules and regulations, and other related updates. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please make sure hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Let's get into the video. You might be nervous about what's going to happen when you get pulled over, but remember that officers are the ones who have every right to be nervous. They never know what to expect. Generally, the more you do to help ensure the officer's safety, the more you ensure your own. 1. Know your rights. A police officer can pull you over for any traffic violation, no matter how minor. They can even follow you and wait for you to commit a traffic violation. Never fight with the police officer or act in a threatening or hostile manner. If you do, the officer could react by arresting you or retaliating in some other way. A police officer cannot pull you over without probable cause. Reasons such as your age, race or the type of car you drive are not probable cause for a traffic stop. If you believe that you've been pulled over for an illegal reason, record the interaction between yourself and the police officer, if possible. Simply place your cell phone on your dashboard and hit record. 2. Look for a convenient spot to pull over. Slow down, put your turn signal on, and pull over to the right. This will signal to the officer that you intend to pull over. Try to find a close parking lot or wide shoulder of the road. Many officers will appreciate the consideration. Take the keys out of the ignition and place them on the dash. If it's dark and you are alone, you have the right to drive to a well-lit area, such as a gas station, before stopping. If you plan to drive until you find a safe place, dial 911. Let them know that you are being pulled over by a police officer and that you are driving until you find a well-lit safe place to pull over. The 911 operator will communicate this information to the police officer. 3. Get relaxed. Even though getting pulled over by a police officer is scary, you will be okay, even if you get a traffic ticket. Take a deep breath and remember that police officers are not evil or scary. They are there to help protect everyone. 4. Roll down your driver's side window and any tinted windows. If it is dark, turn on interior lights. Make all your movements slowly. The officer is watching you carefully to make sure you're not drawing a weapon or hiding something. Do not reach for anything in the passenger compartment of your vehicle or under your seat. As the officer approaches, put your hands on the steering wheel where the officer can't see them. 5. Don't speak first. When the officer comes over to your car, he will usually ask for your license, registration, and proof of insurance. He is not obliged to tell you why he pulled you over before you comply. When you move your hands, tell the officer that you are getting your license, registration, and proof of insurance. Get them slowly and deliberately. If you're in a dark area, the officer will follow your hands with his flashlight. Finish this process before anything else, then put your hands back on the wheel. While the officer checks your license and vehicle status via radio, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your license, registration, and proof of insurance in an envelope, preferably yellow or another bright color, not a pouch. The envelope should be fairly small. You do not want to keep your insurance, registration, and proof of insurance in an envelope that is large enough to hold a gun. If your license, registration, and proof of insurance are in your glove compartment or under your seat, not recommended, ask the officer if you can pull your yellow envelope out of the glove compartment. If you fail to provide one of these items, the officer can arrest you for driving without them or can give you a ticket. But if you have a good excuse for not having these items, the officer may allow you to show another form of picture ID. Then, he'll use it to look you up. This depends on the officer, so try not to drive without your documents. You have a Fifth Amendment right to refuse to answer most of the officer's questions. The driver of the vehicle must provide ID, but in most states passengers have no obligation to ID or talk to the police, therefore you should practice your right to remain silent. 6. Keep your answers brief. Be polite at all times and refer to the officer as officer. You may want to ask the officer what his or her name is and their badge number. Many officers wear body cameras, so your interactions are being recorded. Many officers love asking, like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" This is because they're hoping you will admit to something they may not have known of. For example, if the officer stopped you for speeding, but you told them you think they pulled you over because of your brakes, you just gave the officer another reason to give you a ticket, and you can expect they will use your own statements against you in court. If you are asked, "Do you know why I stopped you?" always respond with no. If you are asked, "Do you know how fast you were going?" say yes. Answering no to this question will lead the officer to believe that you are ignorant of the speed limit or how fast you are going. If the officer asks, "Do you have a good reason that would make you need to hurry?" say no. If you don't have any. If you say yes, then even if you were not speeding, the officer will believe that you were, and you'll probably get a ticket. If he asks, "Have you been drinking?" and you have not been, say no in case you were stopped for driving in an erratic manner. But tell him if you take medications or have an illness that can cause driving problems. If the officer spots or even smells an open container of alcohol, you could be asked to take a breathalyzer and a field sobriety test. A police officer cannot force you to take a breathalyzer test without first obtaining a search warrant. But, because of implied consent laws, refusing to take the test is grounds for immediate arrest and license suspension. If this happens, you can be forced to take the breathalyzer in jail if the police officers can get a warrant, which is easily obtainable if you committed a traffic violation. 7. Follow any orders given by the officer. Refusing to follow an officer's orders will identify you as either resistant or rebellious. This gives the officer the belief that he may have to use force to make you obey their orders. Save yourself the trouble and follow all orders given to you. If the officer sees any illegal objects in plain view, he can open the door, reach in, and take them. In the USA, moving vehicles are subject by law enforcement to search with probable cause after a traffic stop. Probable cause may include observing occupants in suspicious activities, remarks and things that the officer can smell, see, or hear, like safety violations, open containers, potential weapons, etc. If the officer asks if he can search your car, you can say no. If you refuse to consent to a search, that does not create probable cause. However, courts have a tendency to defer to police on probable cause. Even if the officer's probable cause basis for the search is incorrect, it is often considered a legal search. However, it is also possible that any evidence produced by an illegal search is not permitted as evidence in a trial. It all depends on the exact circumstances. Do not engage the officer in any unnecessary conversation. The officer knows why he pulled you over, and anything you say may be used against you. You have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. Don't talk unless responding to a question from the officer. Also, do not name drop if you know an officer he works with. Chances are that the officer who stopped you assumes you know the other officer because of a prior violation or arrest. Do not exit the vehicle unless ordered to do so. This is almost always perceived as a threat, and it is safer for you inside the car than outside, near traffic. If you are asked to exit the car, say, "Officer, are you ordering me to exit the vehicle?" Continue to wear your safety belt. Even though you are stopped, if you are on a busy street or freeway, someone can still hit you. Additionally, if you are wearing your seat belt, the officer will have no reason to think that you are going to try to run away. If you remove your seat belt before the officer sees that you were wearing it, you might receive a ticket for not wearing it, even though you were wearing it, because the officer didn't see you wearing it. 8. Know when an officer can legally search your car. In the USA, moving vehicles are subject by law enforcement to search with probable cause after a traffic stop. If the officer sees any illegal objects in plain view, he or she can search the part of the vehicle that the objects are in and arrest you if necessary. If an officer asks you for permission to search your vehicle, you do not have to say yes. If you say no to a search, keep in mind that the officer may try to establish probable cause for the search. Probable cause to search your car may include observing occupants in suspicious activities, remarks and things that the officer can smell, see, or hear, like safety violations, open containers, and items that could potentially appear to be weapons. Note that refusing to give permission for a car search cannot be considered probable cause. Unless the officer can come up with something else, you will be free to go after the officer writes you a ticket or gives you a warning. Be aware that the officer does not have to ask you permission to have a K9 unit sniff the outside of your car, drugs, people, explosives, etc. 9. Be polite and do not argue if you are given a ticket. There's plenty of time later in traffic court if you choose to contest it. Instead, thank the officer and remain in control of your emotions. If you believe that you were pulled over for an illegal reason or that the police officer did something that was illegal, do not address it with the officer while you are stopped. Instead, try to get or remember the officer's name for later. If the stop is taking a long time, you are free to ask the officer if you are free to leave. If you believe that the officer did something illegal, you can contact an attorney. Then, see if you have a case or file a complaint with the county or state where the police officer is based. For example, if you believe the officer profiled you based on your race, consult an attorney and consider filing a complaint. Hope these provided information is useful to you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon. What are the topics you would like us to make videos on? If you found this video helpful to you, please like this video and let us know in the comments. If you know anybody that can benefit from this information, make sure to share this video with them. We are all about empowering you with knowledge. As always, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. See you soon in our next video.